Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello, and welcome to the official Mercedes-Benz YouTube channel, where today you join me at the home of AMG here in Affalterbach. We're going to go and take a look at the engine production assembly of the new 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder found in the A45S. But let's get started taking a look here in the showroom. Welcome to Mercedes-AMG, where we have an amazing lineup of cars to explore, starting with the CLS 53. We've got a C63 S Coupé, over here the E53 convertible, and then at the back we have the AMG GT 4-door 63S, the second member, of course, of the Mercedes-AMG family. This car, though, with the 4-litre bi-turbo V8. Let's have a quick look at the engine inside the car, pop open the bonnet so that we can see a little bit about this. Of course, traditionally, the V8s have been assembled right here on site at the AMG home, but this car now, or this engine now, produced with the 4-cylinder 2-litre engines alongside it. But have a look inside here, a fantastic work of art. The V8 engine with the signature nameplate worn on the very top of it, making over 600 horsepower. But we're going to take a look at how these come together, as well as those new engines also assembled with the one-man, one-engine philosophy. So let's close this back down and go and take a look. This is where the V8s come together. This is a U-shaped assembly line. It takes about 3 to 4 hours per engine for assembly, but from the very start, the engine blocks arrive. You have the 8-cylinder blocks coming into this facility. So the V8s for a G63 and S63 and E63, for example, they are then collected by the engineer, who will assemble the entirety of this engine from the beginning all the way through to completion. It's collected onto this trolley. It will be attached and held in place. It allows the engine to rotate in order to access the various different parts, but this gets connected, held securely, and basically each of the steps can happen as they progress all the way through to the very end. But this is how it begins. This is where the start of that V8 is going to be coming together. It's an exclusive opportunity to be able to walk the line. We're actually in VR 180, so you can see around and explore everything that's being done. But the blocks arrive here. You have the pistons, the conrods. You can see them being installed into the engine block. These are the oil pans, and this is actually quite interesting because you can see the different parts for the various different engines. For example, we have the oil pan for a G63 alongside an E63, and you can start to see some of the differences that will make the engines that go into the various different cars. But being able to see all of this, being up close and personal with the various things that are being done. I think the crankshafts go in and are fitted to the cars here, various different hoses and cablings and bits and pieces that all come together right here on the line, which has almost 2 sides to it that we go through and explore. We've got the timings that are done here and are all set for the engines. We've got lots of testing that goes on all around us. We've got some of the, I think, thermostats and parts and covers that end up going on the top that are actually fitted, but we're walking straight through the middle of the line where all of the V8s are actually put together and assembled right here, looking at the various bits of machinery, where we get to one of the most interesting, I think, parts, which is to do with the turbos. We're talking the 4-litre bi-turbo V8s with the hot V, the turbos that are mounted right in the centre, and you can see actually over towards this side where we've got the turbos themselves ready and set, of course giving the car more power, more efficiency as well. But this is really the engine coming to life. This is the birth of the hearts, the beating hearts, the power plants of the car, as we're going to head towards the very end of the line. And of course it is one man, one engine, taken all the way through, one man, one woman even, also taking these engines all the way from the very start towards the actual end of the line. And I'm mesmerised being able to look around, being able to see all of this. But when we do get to the very end and all is completed, have a look at what we've got here. The engine builders will come to take their individual plaque, they will lift those out, pop them into a bag, and that's where they'll be able to bring them through and mount them onto the engine along with the oils and various fluids that are filled. From here, they will be taken off, dispatched towards final assembly of the vehicle, where they will be married into the powertrain, into the chassis and the actual car, and then on their way towards the customer. It's time now for the state-of-the-art facility for the new A45S engine. Take a look around here. This is Industry 4.0, absolutely modernised, a facility entirely dedicated to the engine that we're going to be taking a look at now. We've actually arrived at the completion, but I've got to be very careful because we have robots moving around on an automated process all around us. It actually begins just over here, where you have the trolleys automatically following the engine builder as they go around the facility. Of course, you can see some of the internal components, but these are stocked up with all of the parts that would be required throughout the entire process, where it starts just here and commences all the way through. This is completely new, absolutely the cleanest environment I could ever imagine for this kind of thing. You can see how it's going to come, how the engines are going to come through, and in fact, we'll just take a look here where some of them are currently being assembled, coming together in a completely different way to how we've seen with the V8s, but still using the same process, one man, one engine, to work all the way through the entirety of creating the heart of the vehicle. And you can see here, this trolley has literally started moving alongside us to follow its assembler, its engineer, down going through the production line. This is genuinely fascinating for me to see and experience and to be in here. And you can see the various different pieces of equipment that have been assembled up around this as well to make it all happen. But it's such a clean environment. You almost feel that you could eat off the floor in here. It's not what you expect or anticipate at all for this kind of thing. And we're just walking around. The engines would make their way back towards the other end of the line. And that is where it will all complete for these engines, the new 4-cylinder 2-litre turbo engines found in the A45S. Just quickly, before we leave this facility, we've come back to the start to see some of the very early stages. You literally have these robots moving around. They come and pick up the trolleys, and this is where we arrive at the very beginning of the line. And you can see some of the engines here, the early stages where they've arrived. The blocks, a completely different proposition to the other engines that we've been looking at, the likes of the V8s. But these robots will come through, pick up one of the trolleys. They will then take the trolley all the way around. And the fun thing about this is when we get over towards the very end of the line, what happens is when the member of staff signs off for the end of their shift, the robot actually signs off as well, and that marks the end of the day. So the robot will drop the trolley over in the far corner, they will head and depart, the staff member will sign off, completed engine, all ready, all set, all done. That is the end of the A45S engine, and in fact, bang on cue, we have one that is coming down just now. I think that's moving through the stages. That will end when they've completed everything. That will go on off, and that is basically how it all works. For now though, I think we're going to have to depart, so let's head on back over towards the other side of the facility. Now that we've seen the engine assembly, we are joined by the completed product, the new AMG A45S. And let's take a quick look at the engine in its finished state. So open up the bonnet very quickly to come round and show you this and what we have here. Now, as we've discussed with the one man, one engine philosophy, the new introduction of having the A45's engine built and assembled here on site, but also having that philosophy for the unit. And look at it there, making 421 horsepower in the A45S and looking stunning while we're at it too. But let's close this down because I think it is time for me to take this car out for a little drive to go and enjoy it as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's visit to AMG. Thank you very much, and we will see you soon. Cheers.